Hey everybody, it's Anna. Time for a new tarot story this week. So we start with the Tuesday card, and for that we have the 10 of Swords reversed. So the number 10 is the mark of completion. It's the last step in the 10 card trajectory. This is the point where we offer our gift into the world and we release it, right? And swords are connected to the mind. So they're about ideas and strategies, tools, paradigms, and stories. So basically all the things the mind has used to create the action steps that got us to the point of completion, right? So that's the mind has been diligently working to get us here, and now we're asking the mind. The last step is for the mind to release it. And that is definitely depicted here, right? We've got this man laying face down at the seashore with 10 swords in his back, which is basically depicting a death. And that is what the mind walks into. It walks into its own experience of death, which of course the mind is resistant to, right? Because death seems like an ending to the mind, right? But as is depicted in the tarot and pretty much in many spiritual faith systems, death is actually the path to resurrection and new life. So basically we ask the mind to walk faithfully into death, knowing that there's something else waiting for it. And that is depicted here as well. We see there's a sunrise in the background saying a new day is dawning, right? And the sea in the tarot connects to the intuition. So the idea here is that we've completed our work, we're laying it down, we're gonna get in a boat with the intuition and let the intuition bring us to the new thing. So that is actually the journey we want the mind to become more and more masterful with, is completing the work and then stepping into death, right? So that it can also step into new life. Now this card came to us reversed, and that suggests to me the mind might be a little resistant about this last step. And there's a couple of reasons why that could be. Partly the mind could be resistant because it has gotten probably attached to its tools, right? I mean, when you've developed something, you've developed a system or a paradigm, you've worked on this, the mind learns through repetition, and it grows fond through repetition. So think about the mind using a tool for a long period of time. It's gotten very familiar with that tool, really enjoys it, and now it's completed its work and you're asking it to let go. It's really important to help the mind learn how to do this, because we don't want the mind in love with its tools. We want the mind in love with the intuition and in following through with our larger purpose on being on the planet. So it's important for the mind to release this, but we understand why the mind would be resistant. So for one thing, there's a loss connected to this release, right? But also there's confusion, because at this point, after the mind releases, there's not a whole lot for it to do. So the 10 point is the same as the 1 point, because it reduces in numerology to the 1, right? So as this old thing is ending, a new seed is already being planted, which means the first act of the mind is just to release and then wait, right? Because the next step after the 1 is the 2, is germination. So the mind goes through this big victory, this big release into being still for a while. And, again, we have to help the mind get more comfortable with these times of integration. It's not always true there's something for us to do. Sometimes what's there for us to do is to wait. So this card suggests to me that we may have come to the end of something. We're releasing something, but the mind is either reluctant to let go, or perhaps it is feeling confused, like it thinks it's got an idea that it should be making something new happen, when really the new thing's already begun. There's already a seed in the ground, a new thing's already started, and the mind just is gonna have to wait. It really does connect me to the sea, right? There's nothing the mind can do except get in the boat and let the intuition carry it to where it's going. So the mind is now a passenger for a while. It's not driving the boat, it's just in the boat. So I think that the key to this card, the reversal of this card, is to help the mind recognize that it has completed a victory, to celebrate what it's done, and to celebrate the faithfulness of the mind when it comes to this point. Like, yes, we did it, now let it go. Let it go, get in the boat, and let's go for the next adventure. If we can help the mind successfully complete this journey, help it understand that it has been successful. It didn't forget anything, it didn't mess anything up, it's not lost now that it doesn't have an action step. If we can help the mind normalize this passage from death into new life, it becomes more masterful about it. It begins to become more comfortable with it and more willing to lay down its swords and move forward into what else is new. So consider where your mind might be getting stuck, where it might need encouragement, where it may need help in writing the narrative in a way that does support its faith and supports its natural, adventurous nature as it gets on the water and goes to the next place. That's our card for today. See you tomorrow for our next one. Bye.